Okay, guys, it's teacher Anya. We're going to be reading a story today called Interrupting Chicken. To interrupt means to talk when someone else is talking. It's very rude to interrupt people, okay? So we have a chicken, and the chicken always talks when other people are trying to talk, okay? So we're going to see what happens to this chicken, okay? All right, so we can see our title here, Interrupting Chicken. This book is called Interrupting Chicken, right, Papa? Yes. Now, please don't interrupt the story, okay? So, is this our interrupting chicken? Yes, okay. And who's this? Yeah, this is Papa, okay? So, the chicken's dad, okay? So, let's read together. All right, what happens with this chicken? Okay, interrupting chicken. Okay, what do you see here? I see a big kitchen with a lot of stuff, right? A refrigerator and a lamp and some curtains and a window and a bunch of chairs, okay? And a big book. Do you think this book has a lot of stories in it? Maybe, okay? Maybe they use it to sit on it so they can be taller, right? We don't know yet, okay? Okay, so interrupting chicken. Okay, so here's Papa Chicken and Baby Chicken, and it's time for bed. Okay, let's read our sentence together. It was bedtime for the little red chicken. Okay, good. Let's read this again together one more time. Ready? It was bedtime for the little red chicken. Okay? So bedtime means it's time to go to sleep, right? Okay, let's read again. Okay, my little chicken, said Papa, are you all ready to go to sleep? Yes, Papa, but you forgot something. What's that? Asked Papa. A bedtime story. Okay, so Chicken wants Papa to read her or him what? A bedtime story, okay? A story before bed. All right, so we want Papa to read this story to us, okay? So let's read this again one more time together. Ready? Read with teacher Anya. Okay, my little chicken, said Papa. Are you all ready to go to sleep? Yes, Papa, but you forgot something. What's that? Asked Papa. A bedtime story. Okay. Okay, so does the little chicken have a lot of bedtime books? Yeah, lots and lots, right? Lots of stories. Okay, ready? Let's read together. All right, said Papa, I'll read you one of your favorites. And of course, you are not going to interrupt the story tonight, are you? Oh, no, Papa, I'll be good. Okay, so Papa says, I'll read to you, but you're not going to interrupt, right? What does interrupt mean? To talk when someone else is talking, okay? Okay, so little chicken says, oh no, I won't interrupt, right? I'll be very good, okay? All right, let's read this together one more time. All right, said Papa, I'll read you one of your favorites. And of course, you are not going to interrupt the story tonight, are you? Oh no, Papa, I'll be good, okay? So little chicken says, I'll be good, okay? All right, so Papa's getting ready to read. He has his glasses on so he can see, right? Okay, and little chicken, is he very excited? He's very excited to read, right? Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so the first story they're reading is Hansel and Gretel. Okay, this is a very famous story, okay? All right, so teacher Anya will read this part to you, okay? You just listen and try to figure out what the story is about, okay? Hansel and Gretel were very hungry. Deep in the woods, they found a house made of candy. Okay, you can see here the house is made of candy. Nibble, nibble, nibble. They began to eat the house until the old woman who lived there came out and said, what lovely children, why don't you come inside? They were just about to follow her when Out jumped a little red chicken, and she said, don't go in, she's a witch. Okay, so chicken comes and interrupts the story. She tells us what's going to happen in the story. It's so annoying. Okay, so did she interrupt? Yep. She tells us it's going to be in the story. Okay. All right. So Hansel and Gretel didn't. The end. Do you think that's actually what happens in the story? We don't know. We're not going to know because Chicken interrupted the story. So she told us what happened. So it's boring now, like we know, and we don't want to finish reading the story, right? Okay, so is Papa very, very happy that she interrupted? No. Is he very mad? Yes. Okay. Chicken. Yes, Papa? You interrupted the story. Try not to get so involved, okay? I'm sorry, Papa, but she really was a witch. Okay, so Papa says to Chicken, try not to get so involved. Involved means you are in the middle of something, okay? So your friends are talking and you start talking. You're getting involved. You're in the middle of their conversation, okay? And Chicken goes, she just wanted to help the kids by telling them what? That the old lady is, what is she? Yeah, she's a witch, right? Okay, but we want to find that out for ourselves when we read the story, right? Okay, let's read this together. Ready? Read with teacher Anya. Chicken. Yes, Papa? You interrupted the story. Try not to get so involved. I'm sorry, Papa, but she really was a witch, okay? Well, you're supposed to be relaxing so you can fall asleep. Let's try another story. I'll be good. Okay, let's read this again together one more time. Ready? Well, you're supposed to be relaxing so you can fall asleep. Let's try another story. I'll be good. Okay? Do you think Chicken is going to be good? Do you think she's going to interrupt the next story? Probably. Let's see. Okay. Okay, the next story, Little Red Riding Hood. Okay. Okay, so Little Red Riding Hood meets a huge wolf in the forest. Okay. Take this basket of goodies to Grandma, said Little Red Riding Hood's mother. But don't stray from the path. Don't go off the road. The woods are full of danger. Red Riding Hood skipped along through the deep woods. By and by, she met a wolf who wished her good morning. She was about to answer him when, out jumped a little red chicken and she said, don't talk to strangers. Okay. All right. So did Chicken interrupt the story again? What does she tell Little Red Riding Hood? Don't talk to strangers. Okay. It's very bad. It's dangerous. So Little Red Riding Hood didn't. The end. Okay. Chicken. Yes, Papa? You did it again. You interrupted 2 stories and you're not even sleepy. Okay, let's read this again one more time. Is Papa getting frustrated? Is he a little bit mad? Yeah, okay, so let's read again. Chicken. Yes, Papa? You did it again. You interrupted 2 stories and you're not even sleepy. I know, Papa. I'm sorry, but he was a mean old wolf. Okay, so she says, what? Yeah, I'm sorry, but he was mean. Okay, let's read the sentence again together. Ready? I know, Papa. I'm sorry, but he was a mean old wolf. Yes, now get back into bed. Okay, Papa, let's try one more little story and I'll be good. Okay? So she's asking for what? This is the third story, okay? Do you think she will interrupt? Yeah, probably, right? Okay, let's read this again one more time. Yes, now get back into bed. Okay, Papa, let's try one more little story and I'll be good. Okay, our next story is called Chicken Little. Okay, Chicken Little. Chicken Little was hit on the head by an acorn. The sky is falling, she thought. She was about to run off and warn Goosey Lucy, Ducky Lucky, Henny Penny, and everyone on the farm that the sky was falling when out jumped a little red chicken and she said, "Don't panic. It was just an acorn." Okay, so don't panic. It was just a nut. Okay. All right. So Chicken Little didn't. The end. Okay, so did Little Chicken interrupt the story again? Yeah, okay. Do you think her dad is going to be very happy? No. Okay, so let's see what happens. Chicken? Yes, Papa. You did it again. Okay, let's read this again one more time. Chicken? Yes, Papa. You did it again. Okay, let's read together. Oh, Papa, I couldn't let that little chicken get all upset over an acorn. Please read me one more story and I promise I'll fall asleep. The chicken, said Papa. We are out of stories. We're all done. Mayo stories. Okay? Okay, let's read this again together one more time. Ready? Oh, Papa, I couldn't let that little chicken get all upset over an acorn. Please read one more story and I promise I'll fall asleep. But chicken, said Papa, we are out of stories. Oh no, Papa, I can't go to sleep without a story. Okay, so is she very upset? Yeah, why? She wants a story, right? Then, said Papa, yawning, why don't you tell me a story? Me tell a story? Said the little red chicken. Okay, Papa, here we go. Whenever we see these three little dots in English, it means you want to make the word in front of them longer, okay? So here it would be, it's like a long pause, okay? So let's read this again together. Then said Papa, yawning, why don't you tell me a story? Papa's really tired. Me tell a story? Said the little red chicken. Okay, Papa, here we go. Okay, so she gets a story. Okay. Bedtime for Papa by Chicken. Okay, and she drew a picture here. Okay, who's that? Yeah, this is Papa, right? Okay, so let's see what her story says. Let's read together. Once there was a little red chicken who put her Papa to bed. She read him 100 stories. She even gave him warm milk, but nothing worked. He stayed wide awake all. Okay, so let's read this again one more time. Ready? Read with Teacher Anya, please. Once there was a little red chicken who put her Papa to bed. She read him 100 stories. She even gave him warm milk, but nothing worked. He stayed wide awake all. Okay. Okay, is he awake or is he sleeping? Papa? Okay, so did Papa fall asleep when she was reading him her story? Yeah, he falls asleep, right? Okay. Good night, Papa. Okay, so she's like, he's sleeping, so good night. Bye-bye. Okay. Good night, Papa. Good night, Papa. Okay, so she's putting him to bed. Okay, does she come into bed with Papa and sleep with him? Yeah, they're very cozy together. Okay. The end. That's the end of our story. Let's look at our questions about the story. Okay, let's see what you can remember. Okay. What does Chicken do that makes bedtime hard for Papa? What does she do 3 times? She interrupts the story. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Why does she keep interrupting stories? Why does Chicken interrupt the story? Yeah, because she knows something bad will happen. So she wants to try to help the people in the story, right? But it makes the story kind of boring for us to read because we don't know what happens and she tells us, so we don't get to read the story, okay? How does Chicken help Papa at the end of the story? What does she do for Papa? Papa says, "Why don't you read me a bedtime story?" Does he fall asleep? Yes, she helps him fall asleep. Okay, good. All right, very nice job reading this story. We had fun today reading about the chicken putting her papa to bed. Okay, so maybe you can read this story to your mom or dad tonight when you are going to bed. Okay, and I will see you next time for more reading. All right, bye bye, 再见.